it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit. I was just cutting up a piece of game board here because we had a conversation in the house today, and that conversation went something like this. I don't know what to do a video on today. I'm just kind of tapped out. I don't have any ideas. I've been super busy. And then Doom Child number 3 and Lady Doom said, why don't you do this or do this or this. We talked about it, and I just wasn't sure, and usually I don't really get input on what I'm going to make. But my second smallest son, my second youngest, number 3, he said, why don't you make a jar that turns into a werewolf or a monster like a werewolf? And he's 9, and I'm thinking in my head, is there anything like that? And he's like, or the jar just becomes monstrous. And I'm like, oh, like a mimic. And he goes, oh, but like it can do any size. And then the conversation progressed, and it came to the point where Mrs. Doom brought up a valid point. You can have house mimics. Can you have cave mimics? And I thought, well, you definitely can have cave mimics. There's no non-mimic cave rules that I'm aware of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a cave entrance, and then I'm going to make a secondary entrance that slides into it that is like a mimic. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some toilet paper roll here, and I'm going to measure out the cave entrance at about 2 inches. I'm not sure how wide this piece is. So let's say it is 6-ish inches. So we're just going to slide that to the middle, and we're going to make a mark in the center at 3 inches. Then we're going to do 2 inches and 2 inches. Then we're going to take this cave piece here, this entrance piece here, and see how tall that sticks up at 2 inches. All right, cool. So 2 inches it is. I'm going to come to the inside here and make a jaggedy line. I'm going to do the same thing there. And then I'm going to stick that in there just like that. And I'm going to let that become my cave entrance. So as that cools in place, I'm going to come around the outside of this here and just reinforce that a little bit. Now to build this up, the easiest thing to use would be foam, or construction foam. But I know not everybody has construction foam, so we're going to do something a little different. We're going to get a piece of cardboard here. Where's my marker? And I'm not going down flush on the end here. I'm coming down some more. Cutting out a rough shape. Okay. And then we're going to set that on here like that. Whoops. We're going to mark that like that. Then we're going to bring it over here to this edge. Let me cut that little bit off. We're going to bring it over to this edge and do the same thing. Draw this up like that. And we're going to cut these to where they kind of glue into place as the front structure of our hill. And look at that. One. 2. And you can move those around a little bit, slide them up, slide them back. Then what we want to do is we want to kind of glue some stuff in to make some support structure. Okay. And these don't have to be perfect. You just want some form to hold, to support some whatever we use for the piece. Okay. And for the fronts, anything like that can do. All right, so if you have any kind of packaging foam or insulation foam or anything, that would have been way easier than building something like this, but I wanted to do something a little different than I normally do to show you guys that literally with anything you have, like this is just cardboard. If you're in another country and you don't have toilet paper, keep in mind a good alternative could be a paper towel roll or the roll from the inside of something like that, or any roll that you can get a hold of. You don't have to have exactly what I have, okay? So I'm going to get that on there, and I'm going to glue that down on the top here, just like that. And I'm just going to create a little bit more loose form to kind of make this sturdier. That's all I'm trying to do, is sturdy this up. Okay. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to create my rock wall area using tin foil or paper. I haven't decided which yet. Okay, now, any kind of packing paper or tin foil will do this. Let me see what I have real quick. I have some paper towel here. So I'm going to make a bead here along the bottom. And I'm going to smush my paper towel down. Just like that. And then I'm going to pull it across the top. Just like that. Okay. Just like that. Bringing it up to that hillside. A little bit going around the back won't kill you, I don't think. If it does, you're very dramatic. Shame on you. Yeah, that was hot. Okay. Then we'll just pull that there. We'll tuck that around. Put that on the bottom. Just like that. Now, the easiest way to handle this would probably be to do something like that. Just kind of fold that up under there a little bit. Okay. And then we want this to come down and touch the ground right there. Okay. A little bit of glue. Boo, 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 boo. A little bit of glue. Boo, 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 boo. And we're just going to kind of fill that gap up some so it doesn't look like such a perfect folded paper towel. That's all I'm doing, is trying to hide that fold a little bit. And we really don't want a lot of excess paper sticking out around our hole, okay? So get your glue and try to mush that down and get it stuck on the inside there so there's nothing really hanging out, all right? Now, from here, there's a lot of different things you can do once you get yourself gapped out. Get rid of all your gaps. You could, one thing you could do is you could get a tray, and you could coat this with Mod Podge and stuff, and you could put glue on it, or you could just kind of baking soda it. Now this is going to be really sturdy and create like a hard rock-like surface, which you don't really need for a craft like this. But for whatever reason, I just instinctively started doing it, so now I'm kind of married to it. Painting it in a two-part epoxy, or covering it in a two-part epoxy. Painting it in E6000 would work. This would work. Honestly, if you do this and let it dry adequately, you probably don't even need baking soda, if I'm going to be honest. But I'm a giant baking soda guy. I love the rock hard texture it gives. You could use a t-shirt for this craft. Wouldn't that be cool? Using a t-shirt for this. Solved the mystery of that missing spoon a moment ago. Where's that new glue I just opened? Is that it? Did I throw the new glue in the garbage? Oh, I did, didn't I? I'm a dumbass. Oh, well, it's in there now. I'm not going to reach my hand into the glue-soaked garbage to grab it, that's for damn sure. Okay. Oh, there was still liquid in there. It's getting all over my finger. I figured that had dried from last night. It did not. Okay. Now it's just part of my baking soda concoction. No worries. Okay, so you have a decent shape here to work with. Let's stick this to something that we can paint it on. Now, there's no foam in this, so you don't need any kind of Mod Podge or anything if you don't want it. What we could do is we could take some of this black wash we have here that I made yesterday, and we could add some matte Mod Podge to it. And we could make a nice little base coat to sturdy it up. Because I want to kind of get some glue and... Come on, Mod Podge, you bastard. I want to get some sand on here too, to make some more interesting texture. So to do that, I'm going to need some Mod Podge. Bottom line. Mod Podge and glue will hold sand. I don't have any glue in this. Kind of want to come back and hit it with glue. Oh well. Let's add a little glue in that mix. There we go. A little bit of clear craft glue there. Brought to you by El Dollar Trio. It's just one place. There's not 3 of them. Well, there's lots of them, but that was just a bad joke. Just ignore my bad jokes, please. You know, I'm not here to make good jokes. All right, we can set that off to the side. Let's go work on our inserts. We're gonna leave all that in there for now until I figure out how I want to dispose of that. I might not want to dispose of it. I might want to just keep it, and that kind of puts me in that weird. All right, for the bottom, for the insert. So with the insert, just needs to be a little bit smaller. You actually don't even need to cut that, I'm thinking. I'm guessing. Let's get a piece of something here. And start making the mouth of our beholder. Or not beholder, I'm sorry, mimic. Mimic. And we know we need this mouth to fit inside and to kind of come around and slide in that hole. We're going to get a piece of tape to kind of hold the back end together. I just smushed a spider with my fingers. Didn't see him on my tape. That was gross. Okay. Okay, look at that. Now, that's going to fit nicely into the hole. And you can just, oh, you can't see that back there. And it can kind of slide in and take the shape of the hole. As good as you need it to, just like that, in and out. And once it's dry, it'll be a little bit easier of a motion, okay? So, we're going to stick something on the back side of this so we can work on it. And I'm just going to get a piece of this. And I'm going to get some tape. And kind of make that a little flat so I can get some gription. Gription is a technical term. And we need teeth. Now, we need a tongue as well. So for the teeth and the tongue, there's a lot of games we could play. But let's get some goo back in here to start cooling and making a very solid and sturdy case. And we're going to run it on the sides and let it just drip down into the puddle in the middle. And then go focus on making teeth. We'll figure out how we're going to do our teeth. Toothpicks would be good. Barbecue skewers would be good. Cutting up some plastic fork tines would be good. There's a ton of ways we can do this. None of them is the best way or the perfect way. It's all in what you have on hand and what you can do. Okay, that's going to take a minute to cool. I'm going to grab some forks. Maybe I'm going to grab some forks. There we go. That's spoons. All right. I was unable to find my spoons, or my forks, I should say. I found spoons. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these old hands that I've had for quite some time. I'm going to make some cool teeth out of these. I'm just taking the ends of the fingertips. They're different sizes and heights. I'm not sure how many we're going to need, so I'm going to save those hands that I cut this off of. I'm just going to cut 2 hands off worth. I really think we're only going to need about 8, but we'll see. I'm going to put these other hands away. Oh wait, hold on. Damn it. Oh, I don't need the forks now, okay? It's fine. It's whatever. All right, I'm going to get a pair of tweezers so I don't get glue all over my hands mostly. And to get started here, I'm going to get a dab of glue along the bottom. And this is going to be kind of like a gross gum line at some point. But for now, it's just going to hold things in place while I work. So I'm going to get this tooth. I'm going to just kind of get it in there. Wiggle it around. Getting the glue around multiple surfaces on it to hopefully hold it in place. We're going to do that a few times though. Okay. It's probably best not to use the exact same size piece every time. Just kind of bounce around and get it where you want it to go. Something like that. Then you want to carefully, and not using too much glue to do it, kind of get in here and build up some gum line. Just like that around the teeth. And that's going to be your bottom row of teeth. Then we're going to do the same thing here on the top. And build up a little bit of a gum line. And you're going to carefully just kind of work that gum around, let those teeth sink in a little bit, okay? Then we're going to let that cool a little bit, and let's start making a tongue. So to make a tongue, we could use tinfoil, I guess, or anything that has something kind of bendy in it that you can control. I would maybe put a little bit of wire or a piece of skewer or something in here. Something that's going to give it some strength and some control. So I'm going to fold this in half once and make that the back of my tongue. And then I'm going to wrap this around and leave that kind of point on there, just like that. And I'm going to bring these in just a little bit, make my tongue a little skinnier. See how long that is to the back of the throat? Way too long. We're just going to cut this off all the way across the back. Try that. Okay, that's going to work. My front's a little square. I'm just going to round that off. All right, so for my tongue, to make sure it has everything I need it to have and to look good, I want it to kind of curve up and then curve back down. So I think the easiest way to handle that would be to get there we go. All right, hold on. I have that empty one. And I'm going to get a brush to make this simple. I don't want a giant mess here. So I'm going to get this brush. Okay, I'll flip it over. Oh, I gotta get that front end better. There's that nub sticking out right there. We gotta cover that up. Let's get that fixed. And let's continue on our journey for Lickitung. My brush dried up already. That's not good for this kind of thing. Okay. We're just going to do a little bit of touch-up work on the sides and the tip, it looks like. So I'm not completely unhappy with that. I just want to sturdy. Oh shit! I just want to sturdy this up a little bit more than it is, and make it a little cooler looking. And I think that'll do it right there. All right, this should mostly all be dry in here now, and I hope that it is. So I want my tongue in here, just like that. And to get that tongue mounted in good, I'm just going to get more of that glue. Just like that. And let that cool. In the meantime, I want this insert to have like a solid kind of connection around it where it's slippery, and I'm not sure how I want to accomplish that. Give me a moment to think. All right, we'll get a piece of cardstock and make a slippery sleeve. And this used to once be a Hostess box, Little Debbie box. We just needed to get that cooled on there in place and let that latch on. Now I need to cut, because it's conical, I need to cut this piece so that as it wraps around, it kind of bonds and doesn't just go over the top edge, right? So then when I want this to come all the way around the back here, pull it tight. All right, now we have to let that sit for a moment. Probably a piece of tape around there wouldn't hurt. Okay. All right. Now, get some good texture by dragging our gun around, covering up any seams that might pop out. And making this a little fleshy won't hurt you. Anyways. You don't need to focus as much on the bottom. That's a fact. Just kind of ignore that a little bit. Okay. Let's get some more texture. Doesn't matter if it's beautiful. Okay. So when I come back, I'm going to have these spray painted and we're going to paint them up. Until then, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share. Hit the notification bell icon and all the happy crappy that makes the channel grow. And check out the website. Comment. I think I said that stuff. Who knows? Discord. Check out Discord. And we'll see you next time.